YouTube, I'm David with the David West channel. Here's a great big water oak tree and some branches that have fallen off of it. You always want to try to get a branch where the bark is off, and most of the bark is off of this piece. Let's see if we can break it off. This will be our bow drill project for today. Third day in a row. Bow drill from the walking trail. And here's our branch. And I thought that I had a great branch for the spindle because this was good and straight, but it's very, very soft. I just cut it off and it's too punky to use. It's not gonna work. It's too far gone. So let's use some of this bigger part of the branch. Like here's a straight part right here. Let's see if we can use that. Now that feels like it has a lot more density to it. Let's see if we could turn this banana shape into a great bow drill spindle. I'm going to take the saw and rip this off of here. I'm gonna have to take the hatchet to it. Let's go around behind the building here. Now, I'm no expert in axes and hatchets, but I do not think that this Collins hatchet, which I bought about 3-4 years ago, holds an edge like it's supposed to. Maybe the older Collins axes and hatchets were better, but I would never buy another new one. Let's continue on. All right, that has saved me a bunch of work. Let's go back over to the fire table and finish it up with the more. There's no more shade on the fire table, so we'll do it right here. Now, of course, you want softer wood than this. The easiest way to tell if the wood is the right density is to use the thumbnail impression test. Take your thumbnail, press down into the wood. If it holds the thumbnail print, it's the right density for friction fire. But it has now become a challenge to make this rock hard water oak produce. So let's just see if we can do it. I'm going to have to cut this bend off right here. That's about a 7.5 inch spindle. All right, since this end has knots on it, let's go ahead and make it the bearing block end. come down 1.5 inches, bring it to a point. That point should be on center line. Turn it 90 degrees. The point should still be on the center line. We're going to do 3 levels of facets right here on this hot end. Come down 1/4 inch, do facets all the way around. Come up 1/8 inch, do facets all the way around. Come up 1/16 inch, facets all the way around. All right, let's do the fireboard. And the fireboard, I just split it in half, flatten off the top, flatten off a side, and that's what we have. Let's try it out. I can't wait. All right, let's talk about our next concern, since we have such a hard bow drill set. To keep the set from glazing, the spindle tip to the divot, keep it from glazing. It's hard for me to explain it, but I'll do my best. There has to be a certain wear rate. The spindle tip and the divot has to wear down at a certain rate. If it's not wearing down enough, and you're just really bearing down and bowing really fast, it's going to glaze. The best way to stop glazing when you have a very hard set like this is to not bow very fast, but to continue to bear down. If you have like a very soft fireboard and a very soft spindle, a lot of times you can't make that work because the wood will wear away quicker than it can make friction to char the dust. So if you're using the right density of wood, the wear rate is perfect. The wood wears away at the perfect rate, and it creates enough friction at the perfect rate to lay down some charred dust. When that dust pile builds up to the bottom of the spindle, the very hot spindle, that's when it ignites. So the biggest mistake you can make with this very hard set is to bow really, really fast. You're asking for glazing. And you know that it's glazed when it stops producing dust, when you hear a lot of squeaking, when you look at the divot in the end of the spindle and it's glazed over. It's shiny. When it gets to that point, you can either use some sand down in the divot, or I like to just take and cut off the glazing and go back again. Sometimes when you hear it starting to glaze, when you hear it starting to squeak, well, every time for me, take and bear down a lot harder, and you will wear through that glazing and make it start producing charred dust again. All right, no sign of glazing. The dust looks good. The divot looks good. I'm gonna go cut a notch in it, and then we'll go for the ember. All right, I like a square point notch. Look at that knot that's in the sidewall of that notch. Doesn't matter. We'll burn right through it. Process up my pine needles. And I'll put this powder, this dust, these very fine particles on top of the ember. I think this is going to be an easy one. I can tell by this dust that we made on the burn-in. I didn't mean to just waste it. I should have packed it back up inside of that notch. So now I'll have to do a few extra strokes to build it back. That's all right. And we have a very nice ember, but the wind is blowing on it and using it up. So if it gets too bad, I'll cover it up with my pine needles. It needs to sit there and cook about a minute, maybe 2 minutes, to coalesce, come together, get tight. The worst thing in the world you want is when you drop that ember into your tinder and it just break into 1,000 pieces. You want it to drop into your tinder into one consolidated coal. And that takes time. If the wind is blowing on it, it's just using it up and it's not allowing it to coalesce. So we have time. Oh, look at how beautiful that tip is. And the bearing block end right here. That fat wood is a great bearing block material. All right, I see some white ash on top of that ember. So it's coalesced. It's done all it's going to do. It's time to put it in the pine needles. Alright y'all, do me a favor. Before you leave my channel, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, and in that drop down list, select all, and do give the video a like. I appreciate you joining me on this one. We'll catch you on the next one. They usually go to flames quicker too when you let it coalesce.